What's happening, folks? My name is Ipaintcreatures, and I really appreciate you stopping by today and viewing the IPC YouTube channel and checking out what I got going. So this is a whole series of paintings and drawing I did where I just really wanted to go out there and sometimes you can get in a rut when you do what I do. Not really a bad rut because, I still make a living and I'm still doing a lot of painting and drawing for people and being able to pay my bills. But every once in a while I want to go back to that graphite world where, we all live really busy lives. So it's kind of scary sometimes to sit down and start doing some graphite and not know where you're going, using no reference or anything. But I did these kind of creatures that are in my MATSU epic story world, and they're all based on crystals and gemstones. And so this guy has all kinds of crystals and gemstones. And I'm also playing with my homemade acrylic ink pens. They're not really homemade, but you buy basically the barrel and then you fill it all in. I got a lot of lessons if you're wanting to explore kind of step by step and give you all the insights over on Skillshare. So check out Skillshare and Ipaintcreatures. So today's quote I wanted to use is by J.M.W. Turner, and might be the famous Turner artist or in that family, but I don't know. But this artist said, "It is only when you are no longer fearful that we begin to create." And that's why I love teaching poetry, love teaching painting and drawing, because I think at the base of it, when anyone enters the space of creativity, they have a base fear, because that's a lot of us have been raised in a culture that kind of breathes that, right? And said you had to go get an education, get certified for whatever you do, or at least have some instruction, put in some dues, even if it's you're teaching yourself. They have the 10,000 hour method. You have to do 10,000 hours to master what you're doing. Right, and I think this quote has a lot to do with what I teach when I teach a lot of my art to students or upcoming people or people intrigued to. And I mainly don't teach the craft a lot. I teach more creativity because especially in the art of poetry and speaking poetry, I notice people first when they try to learn a new form. Like I teach a lot of the art of the short poem, like haiku, right? And most people know it as a 5th grade kind of lesson they were given, right? That is 575 syllables. But I've been such a practitioner in my life of this form that I find so many ways. So that's what I try to share with everyone, basically what's worked for me, and I don't really get them to try to be a copycat and do what I do. But I also started to find today I was doing some stuff on Clubhouse, and the poets were all reading, and I was starting to notice that when you get the community involved, especially a whole group of poets, and you read these haikus, and they're all like they'll preface it by saying, "Oh, I don't know how to do this, and I'm not really good at it," and then all of a sudden they read it and they get a reaction from really advanced long form poem writers in the room. And then the next time you ask them to rerun it or read it, they have so much confidence in their pauses, their pronunciation, their dictation, the dialect they're using to do it. And I think that happens in a lot of art. I always try to get people to just, in fantastical art, there are no really rules except for, the major rule if you like it and if you get confidence from it. So I think this quote is so true because you have to get rid of your fear, and it's okay to have the fear in the beginning, just don't dwell in it, Get to the point where you're fearing, just kind of the anxiety of doing something new, and that's kind of the human nature a lot of us grew into. We're all kind of more in survival mode than like jumping into new areas that seem kind of haunting. right? But I think the key is just to jump in there, get in there, start writing, start scribbling on the page, start doing entrepreneur, start doing the business, and don't look at the failures as you're failing. Look at them more as you're getting rid of the fear. You're getting stronger. You're getting more buff that, in your mind and your mental faculties, and you get more inspiration. And that's why I think it's important that artists gather and creative people gather. And I'm just totally in love with my clubhouse family. I gather in all kinds of rooms from, poetry, where some of the greatest poetry on the planet is happening. And then I also been visiting a lot of incredible rooms where entrepreneurs are. And, so I think creativity and all that extends way past just painting and drawing. So thank you for joining me today. And leave some comments down below. Connect with the people that come in here, and let's keep this thing going. So I appreciate you, and I'll see you real soon.